Hello, this is David D. Hilster. I'm a critical thinker, science dissident, and I'm here to tell you the truth about science. Something your university professor won't tell you, and certainly the mass media won't tell you, and even more, the science evangelists won't tell you. I'm here to talk about something that happens a lot. And that is, if you can look on the screen here, you can say, rising stars. This millennium might be the new Einstein. Now you see this all the time. 12-year-old has high Q, higher than Einstein. Sometimes they're from India, sometimes they're from Asia, sometimes they're from the United States. And here's something, the new Einstein. Now, of course, that's the idea of this brainiac, this selling of a person whose brain is way more superior. It's almost like they got more computer. I don't know what the answer really is. It's this genius idea. And it turns out that, in my opinion, there are a lot of really great people in the world, but this idea of genius and magical minds and brilliance is something that is what we create. It's a mass media kind of thing. But regardless, we're going to see this a lot, and I want to make some comments about what we should understand about this new Einstein. The first thing is, Einstein's wrong if you take the time to look at his theories. If you really take a close look and not just read what people say about how it's right. You have to go and look at what Einstein himself said, just like Dr. Edward Dowdy from NASA did. He reads German and speaks German fluently, so he could read Einstein's works in his own language. And when you do those kinds of things and you take the time, you'll find out it isn't what it seems, and that we continue just the hype, the marketing. If we say it over and over that we're going to make America great, we're going to make America great, people will believe you. That's if you say it over and over. Einstein's a genius. His stuff only can be understood by a few people in the world. Then you're going to believe that. Oh, this person's the next Einstein. And this marketing goes on. And so you link this person. Look at this. I mean, she's got this photo. They went on a photo shoot, folks. I mean, this is real marketing. Like, is this angle good? This isn't science. Because when you start to look at what's being said, you can start seeing the problems. Her research could change our understanding of the fundamentals as we know them. Listen to it, please listen to these words, okay? I know I'm an annoying linguist, but listen. Her research could change, not necessarily would change, our understanding, whatever that is, because that's a really broad thing, of the fundamentals as we know them. As we know what do we know about the fundamentals? I mean, the idea here is like, well, the fundamental basis for physics, she's going to change, and because she's an Einstein, her brain's bigger, maybe we'll find, she's the Tiger Woods of physics, or she's the Mozart of physics. We put these ideas up there and worship, but listen to these sentences. Her research could change the understanding of... It's a vacuous statement. Anyways, she's a brilliant mind, etc. And of course, she is exploring some of the most challenging and complex issues in physics, such as Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein, whose theory of relativity just turned 100 years old. Journalists, it's general relativity, not special relativity. So please get those things right. Anyways, she's as much as Stephen Hawking and Einstein did in their early careers. So that's what they're comparing to. Now, Stephen Hawking, if you compare him to other physicists of today, is actually a knowledge among today's physicists is not the biggest and most important physicist around. So we have this problem of, again, what's the story with Stephen is he's like this, and he's in a chair. See my music video. People think it's not sacred. Well, I'm trying to make a very big statement in that it's the story of Stephen Hawking's that's more important necessarily than his theories on black holes, which he of course changed to gray holes, and it gets difficult. But again, what we're seeing here is that marketing, we want to start using terms in marketing as well that you don't understand, so that she sounds, oh, she builds planes, she doesn't have a smartphone, and she's got this physics girl website, so she's practical. Jeff Bezos wants her on the team because she's this great thinker. And of course here, but unless, I love this one. This is just really great. This is what we call marketing, and this is where you can see where we market these super brains with super ideas that none of us mere mortals can understand. But unless, here it is, but unless you're the kind of rabid physics fan. I didn't know physics, what you were they're fanboys. I thought science was a critical thinking job, to look at stuff and make your own mind up by looking at everything and being a critical thinker. I didn't know it was a physics fan, who's seen her papers on semi-classical Virasoro symmetry of the quantum gravity S matrix and Lowe's subleading soft theorem as a symmetry of QED, both on approaches to understanding the shape in space, is the shape of space and gravity, and the first two papers she ever authored. You may not have heard of her. So look at these, the shape of space. Think about it, people. Space, by definition in the English language and in most languages, espaço in Portuguese, which is one of the and I'm sure all these other languages, it means nothing. You don't have a shape of space. This is an absurdity that comes from Einstein. And space and gravity, the shape is gravity. As I say, shoot me now. These things, we just talk about them. We throw them out. We hear them so many times, we just assume that they're okay. But this is all garbage. It is garbage. Just like most of particle physics, which has been invented, which are like Dr. Unzicker. Look him up. Alexander Unzicker, got great videos out there. Super fan of his. A bunch of arbitrary packages with arbitrary values. That's what this is. It's all math. There's no physicality. Well, some of us are actually coming up with real models. But this is ridiculous. I mean, you can see. Now, here's another interesting part. There were 7,329 in 2003, double the 4-decade low of 3,178. Remember I talked about this. These are the physics grads. Now, how many people do we have in here in the United States? 320 million. And they're talking about physics grad, newly minted. What, they're instead of old and rusty? Let's see if we can do that. Petrosky stands out among the growing number of old and rusty physics grads in the United States. Oh, of course, newly minted is much better. That means they're new and fresh, and they can repeat everything they're told because we pretend to understand the paradoxes. And I can say this, folks, I can do this because I'm a nerd. I'm in supercomputers. I'm socially not acceptable in many places because of my nerdy. I'd rather talk about physics than drinking beer and that kind of thing. So what we talk about, we're seeing that we are talking about these newly minted 7,000 now instead of 3,000. Of course, that's not even double. And if you look at the percentage of the United States and the grads in total, this is a minuscule part. Now, how many of those physics grads are going to be theoretical? Real small number. So again, this is not something, we look at this teeny group of theoretical physicists. The experimental physics people don't like them because they say there's nothing theoretical about physics. I know this. I have talked to them. And so you have this problem of, again, oh, look at how many people. There's just few. You know how many people graduated in probably animal husbandry? A lot more than this. In engineering, really good people. Way more, millions. But we concentrate on these big thinkers. Now, we could go on, but we're just going to I'm just going to get more frustrated. But one of the things I do want to tell you is there is, instead of Stephen Hawking, who we talk about, we actually have one of our great critical thinkers, a really great guy who I'm trying to get him to get his YouTube channel on. We're working on him. And his name's Stephen also. His name's Stephen Crothers. And he has gone into the black hole calculations and logic and looked at them, and it is an absolute disaster. To give you one idea that he tells us is that all of a sudden in the middle black holes, which is one mass, you get two masses in the equations. Where did that come from? We're talking about a black hole, one mass. That's a simple layman's explanation. But there is just point after point. We're going to be getting his voice, hopefully, another dissident scientist, another critical thinker out there. So why aren't we talking about him? He's, no offense, way better than this lady because she's next Einstein. Einstein's wrong. So it would be like saying, I'm the next Trump. I'm sorry if you like Trump, that's okay. But how about I'm the next mass killer? You know, that's not a good thing. It's not something you want to be. I'm the next person. I'm the next person who was the flat earth person. It's wrong. So that's pretty much all I have for today. But remember, we do have people all the time comparing and saying they're the next Einstein. Well, read through it. See about all this double talk again. See how they use language to blow them up and say these lofty things. Why? Because the physics writers, the science writers get into the groove. They know how to say it. They at least do it. It's a very small, squirrely little group. So remember, as I say, always don't take what anyone says on faith, or what you read, or what you see here in the blogs of the world. Stay critical, stay thinking. I'm Dave D. Hilster, your science therapist. Ciao for now.